Hey guys, I'm here in Hillsdale, Michigan, and I was researching to do a video at a lighthouse about 2 or 3 hours northeast of here. And I came across a video from a gentleman and reached out to him about possibly meeting up to go for a tour. And so I'm here with Jamie from Lower Michigan
Adventures. Well, hey, I'm Jamie. I really enjoy hiking. I've traveled all across Michigan to a lot of crazy different areas. I've done a lot of ultralight backpacking trips. I also like stealth camping, which is something that I kind of just got into a little bit here and there, and winter camping.
All right guys, so we're on our way to the first destination, and I think it's gonna be an awesome day. So Jamie here is what I would call a professional hiker, and he has a professional hiking setup. And I have my standard backpack with a tent. So just a bag. It is waterproof, well, very water resistant, but it is definitely not meant for long hikes.
This is the Osprey 58. Probably got about, I want to say maybe 30 pounds in it. This is an ultralight backpack, and some of the gear I carry is ultralight.
You ready to start this hike?
Yep. Ready to start this hike up.
So as we step off here, do you mind sharing the name of this trail again?
This is the NCT Trail, and this is over in Pittsford, Michigan.
So do you know about how long this trail is?
If we start here at the trailhead and go all the way to Pittsford Road and then turn around, we're probably looking at about a 7.5, 8 mile, but that's not an easy hike. This is rated as a moderate hike, so it can be a bit challenging, and if you want to do a section of it, we can do a little section of it. Do 2 miles and then come back, but you're gonna find out it's not a real easy trail. So what we have here is we have the NCT markers. They're dark blue, they're on the trees. That way you stay on path. So it's really important to pay attention to see these as you go down the trail, and you don't want to veer off path.
About how frequently do you think you'll see them?
I would say close to 100 yards or better.
Okay.
Sometimes a little bit closer, but...
So you may not always have them in your direct line of sight.
Right.
But just try to stay on the same path, and eventually you'll come across
if you
one.
notice on these dark blue ones, those are fresh. Those faded ones you don't want to follow.
Okay, so the trail might like evolve over time.
Right, so that, yeah, but they'll be dark, and the other ones will be super faded. And normally there will be something blocking you from going down there, like a down tree, and it'll be right there at the trail.
It makes sense.
Yeah. One time I was coming out here, I was hiking, and I had my headset on, and I was just trying to knock down some serious miles out here and get a good workout in. And I was kind of not paying attention, and they had some of that sticks and stuff down, and it was getting dark out, and I had my headlamp on, and I got off trail, and I got down even farther, and then I was like, oh no, I made a mistake. So I had to hike back about half a mile. I was like, no, this is wrong. I got into my music, it was dark, it was getting dark, and I got off trail, and I had to turn around, get back out.
One of the things I hate is obviously making a wrong turn like that.
Right.
But sometimes you run into something that you wouldn't expect.
Right.
So on the NCT trail, is it likely that we'll run into another color of paint, like orange or yellow, green?
This trail right here is, this section of this trail is primarily blue. And it's not very likely on this section, this particular section of trail, because I've hiked down through here before, that you're gonna see a different color other than blue. This right here was probably done within the last couple years. So they came in here, the NCT volunteers put all this wood down right here, filled this all up with rock, because back before they took care of this area, it was really low land right down here, and it would be really super soft, and and especially in spring would be all mushy and actually would kind of tear up the trail. So they tried to preserve the trail by putting some of this stone down, lifting this area up a little bit, and avoiding you from ruining the trail. Because otherwise it gets all rutted up bad. In springtime, when all the snow is melting, if they didn't put this down, this would be all nothing but mud, because all the snow and everything melts and it all comes down here. And I hiked this trail before they put all this in, and it was just a muddy mess, just terrible to hike through. And so this is a real improvement for the NCT trail.
So Jamie made the right call this morning. When we were kind of talking about how we were going to meet up today, I was asking if he wanted to meet at 9, 10 a.m. He was floating 7 or 8 a.m. and eventually he went out and said, let's meet up at 7 a.m. because it's going to be a long day.
Right.
And we're going to see a lot of sights today.
Yep.
And so we're coming around the corner now, and it looks like we're getting to a pond or something.
Beautiful view of this little pond. Let's take a look at it.
Well, Jamie, this is amazing. I'm so glad that you brought me to this first spot right here.
Right. The view is what I would call $1 million view.
$1 million view.
Being out here in nature. This is what they call a chute. A lot of times people will create chutes off of designated trails to get better views, or they've seen something or have heard about something, and they'll go and make their own trail. That's cutting a trail that you're really not supposed to be doing.
So here I can tell that I'm on the right path because I have the blue,
right? But
and then I have the blue right here.
But if you start going down this is a chute that somebody had created, and it has no blue down through there.
So I've done a lot of hiking in my life.
Right.
And most of the hiking I've done has been either overseas or training. So I'm not exactly familiar with a lot of the trail etiquette.
When you go to a site or do a dispersed camp, you want to leave that spot looking like you've never been there before. And
exactly.
That's what no trace means is you bring stuff in, pack it all the way out.
So we're out here and there's another couple just enjoying this beautiful sunrise over this lake.
Morning.
Morning, guys.
Have a nice hike.
Enjoy yourselves.
Thank you.
This is actually one of the dispersed spots, and this is a chute off the trail. And look at this view right here. Turn around, look at that view. Because right at the top, you're going to be camping up there, and there's a fire ring and everything up here.
So Jamie's taking me up to this beautiful dispersed camping site that overlooks this amazing lake.
Yeah, $1 million view.
And pond where those folks were enjoying their breakfast this morning. And I'm going to say, I'm not angry. I'm just a little disappointed in some folks. There's just trash all over this site. Broken bottles, other trash, I guess, from somebody's camp food.
And generally, I'd probably come back out here tomorrow and clean this mess up. It's disgusting. Leave no trace, guys. If you're gonna come out here and have a good time, clean it up.
So if it wasn't for all this trash, this would be an amazing spot. And in fact, this is dangerous because this glass is shattered.
There's glass everywhere. To be honest with you, I was up here at this spot last year, and this was not like this. This is the beaver dam. No, you can actually see where the beavers dam this off. It's not even running. That water normally comes up over the side and runs right down through here.
Okay.
And the beavers got all this dammed up with wood down through there and stopped the flow.
Yeah,
So
we're actually feels like we're even like 2 or 3 feet below.
Right.
It's been
really dry over here in Lower Michigan lately. This last couple months has been extremely dry. A lot of times this time of the year I can come up here and it's still flowing. So our water table is really low over there on that pond because it's normally running.
So Beaver Dam right there, very amazing place. Apparently it's natural. At some point beavers or somebody or something made the dam here, and the water elevation from the dam down into this little draw right here is about a 15-foot difference, and it just goes on and on. So that dam essentially natural and holds a lot of water.
Thanks to the beavers. They kind of dammed that off from it flooding out this area.
That's kind of the horizon right there, and if I hold my hand, you can see that as my hand goes across the horizon, the difference is just getting crazy as we walk down. So this trail's been pretty mild so far, and we're here at the switchbacks, and this is kind of the point of no turning back. So there's a little one log bridge and doesn't look too treacherous, but let's go tackle it and get up the switchback.
So we just come up this trail right here, and as you can see down through here, there's blue markers, right? If you go down here, there's a blue marker too, but there's a log put across there.
You just barely see the blue marker on the tree right there.
Right, and the blue is actually a little bit lighter by far. They don't want you to go through this, and normally there's one up here, but somebody moved it. And these ones are actually real close. You can see how when you come around that corner to go down, you can easily mess up, especially if it's dark.
So back where we crossed the one log bridge, if we would have hung a left instead of going up the switchback, we could have walked to that dispersed campsite. And if we were here to camp today, we could have pitched a tent there and set up shop and enjoyed the rest of our day. But trail guide Jamie here wants to take me to another spot. So we're gonna head back out of this trail just to get out to this beautiful view overlooking the pond, the dispersed camping.
Look, don't make the mistake.
And the
stay on
beaver
the
set.
trail. You got trekking poles?
I don't.
Okay, I think I got another set in the car.
All of the hiking I've done in life, I've never used them.
Okay, you're gonna find out where they may come in really handy on this next one. You're gonna be like, oh my god.
Yep.
Yeah,
Perfect example, right?
Perfect example. Loose rock.
Yep.
And so going down these trails right here, I always take trekking poles. I'm older, and a lot of times I come out here by myself.
Okay guys, so we made it back to the trailhead here. That couple that we ran into hiked out just ahead of us, and we talked to them for a few minutes, and they were also disappointed about the condition of that dispersed campsite. And in fact, they said they're going to go home, they live close by here, and get a bag and come back and collect that trash. So thank you to them for doing that.
Right.
Jamie the trail guide is going to take me to at least one more spot.
It's a hidden gem. It is a cave, a hidden cave. And there's a big story behind it, but I'm gonna leave that to you to figure that one out as we go.
Okay, so there's a hidden cave out there. I'm not much of a caver, and he said the terrain is pretty treacherous.
The terrain is awful treacherous.
So he's gonna bring his trekking poles, and I am gonna forego the poles for today. He does have a spare set, so
And I
hopefully I don't
be filming going down.
yeah. So hopefully I don't fall and slide, because I have the tools available to prevent that, but I'm gonna choose to not use them.
Well, seeing since you're off-grid adventures, now this thing works perfect for off-grid, you know, for charging little devices, blowing up air mattresses, and having a power supply. And we got the panel too.
Awesome.
So we're good to go. Oh, this right here. Well, this little doohickey right here, I got these little thingamabobs right here. I can plug in right there. This can go on the back of my backpack, and while I'm hiking out in the sun, it can keep my phone charged.
So as we can see, Jamie knows his gear, and he knows exactly what he likes to take with him when he's going out on the trail. Now, I would have never imagined that this is a trailhead.
Well, actually, the trailhead is just down there, just a little bit. So it's actually right in front of my car, and then veers right over there.
We're probably gonna end up making lunch while we're out there, so I'm gonna swap out my tent and just bring my little camp chair with me.
Right.
That way I have a comfortable place to sit while we cook our meals. So I'm here with Jamie, and we mentioned earlier in his video that he knows this place like the back of his hand, and I'm not familiar with it. And so actually, now that I'm looking at the entry to this trail, it looks pretty treacherous.
You got some down trees, and at the top of that trail, there's brush covering it. They don't really want you to go up here. That's not actually the trail. That's just where they put the to put the trail marker. They don't want you to use that, obviously, and it's actually the trail heads right here.
Definitely a much steeper start than the last trail.
Right.
So Jamie has given me a homework assignment for after our hike today to actually go back and do some research on the location that we're going to.
Right.
I will share some of that information with you guys either in this video or I'll link in the description below where that information can be found. So on the back of Jamie's pack is a 20-watt solar panel, and he's currently using that to charge his phone. So anytime we get out from under the canopy of the trees, that solar panel will just add a little bit more juice back into his cell phone.
And when you're out in direct sunlight, it sure does work good. So this here is another section of the NCT trail. This will be a little bit shorter of a hike, but all these little hikes add up. At the end of the day, by the time we get done exploring, we may have 8 to 10 miles. You can easily walk past this little chute that leads down to the valley.
So while I was researching for this weekend's trip, I came across Jamie's channel, and he does actually have a video on his channel of this location. I would say that this trail is not commonly traversed because there's a lot of grass right on the trail as we're walking. So before we start tramping through the wood line here, what's the tick situation here in Michigan?
This time of the year, it wouldn't be too bad. You definitely want to be very careful during spring and very early summer. I got a dog. We go do a lot of hiking, and it seems like when you get the extreme hot weather in, they're not nearly as bad.
So it looks like we're at the top of the hill here, and it is more or less a straight drop. So Lower Michigan Adventure has just told me to buckle up for a long ride.
Yep.
That what I see here is just the beginning of our descent. And the worst part about this trail is it's all uphill on the way back out.
Right. To be honest, I think it's easier to climb it than to go down. And you're really going to see it once we get over this little hump and go get ready to pop down through the valley there.
Yeah, unfortunately the camera doesn't see the depth.
No.
Just over that dead tree, I can see another big drop.
I think it's somewhere between 500 and 800 feet to the bottom, very bottom of the valley.
So I wasn't expecting this. I walked down here to get a shot of Jamie coming down just to accentuate how steep this is. And apparently this is the entrance to the cave that we were coming down to.
I have like 2 different videos of this up on my page. And actually, one of the videos actually has my buddy going inside the cave.
So do you think there's any wildlife in these caves?
Well, I'll tell you what, my buddy, when he went in there, he said it smelled like something was living in there.
So this is absolutely a beautiful place here. I don't plan on going in any of these caves.
No.
I'm not necessarily claustrophobic, but that's a rock structure with a lot of soil in it. And so because the soil is drying out, it might be a little less stable, and one wrong move could bring down a ton or tons of soil, and that would be it.
These caves, at one time there was horses in them, so you can imagine how big the opening was. So there's a story behind that, and it's a very unique one. Silas Doty is the horse thief back in the 1800s. Early 1800s, and he stashed horses in here, ended up getting arrested, and there's several other crimes that he committed. And I don't know how you could get a horse in there today, but back in the day that was wide open.
So we are at the bottom of a pretty significant valley, and I'm not sure if it's the wind or if it's water, but there's definitely that steady rumble of wind.
Yeah, and there should be water right over here. We camped right here in one of the videos, and they were not calling for rain that day, and by 8 o'clock at night it was literally a downpour all night long. And there's a river down here that runs, or a little stream that runs, that filled up from the valley and was literally almost up to our campsite by 5 o'clock in the morning.
And I know we can do better than this. Don't leave your trash. I mean, if you're gonna burn it, at least burn it. Don't leave your garbage behind. if you brought it here, it's already empty, so it's that much lighter than when you got here. Just bring it back out with you. It's not that hard.
This just goes to prove how much of a drought we're in over here in Michigan this year. Michigan is extremely dry because the last time we were down here, this was clear full of water.
So this is an amazing spot that you found here.
It's called Lost Nations. And it's a very popular place for people to come down and venture. There's so much history behind it. Amazing views down here. Very relaxing. I'll tell you something right here.
What's that?
Okay, this right here, we found this down here. I don't know if you can see this or not. This is a form of pyrite. This with a piece of steel, the right steel, can get a fire going. We just found this right down here.
Nice.
It's pretty cool. And I can't believe somebody just left this here.
What is that, like a meal pack?
It's a meal pack.
So a couple of young guys just came down here and they all went right in that cave without second guessing it. So apparently there's plenty of space in there to fit at least 4 men in there. So what we're doing right now is Jamie is gonna start a fire.
I'm actually gonna use a ferrocenium ferro rod, excuse me. I'm actually gonna use a ferro rod. What I might show you is how that little rock that we just found, we can throw a spark off of it. It's a little bit more technical to start it that way, but I do got char cloth. But I'm gonna show you right here. And let's see if we can get a close-up, maybe we can see a little bit of a spark off of it. You see that spark?
Oh yeah. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but I can definitely see it.
On a big screen, you can definitely see it. This might not be my road dry stuff. There you go. See, just like that.
That's it.
And then you go like this.
Start building up your tinder.
There we go again. We don't want to make too big of a fire that we can't put out because we're going to leave no trace and we're going to have this out when we leave. So we're not trying to create a big fire. And so we just used a little bit of kindling around here, and some of this stuff's pretty damp, so, and it's taken off, but we're not gonna build anything too big.
All right, so now we're gonna let this, this flame burn out. We're gonna make sure this is safely extinguished. And then we're gonna head out and check out at least one more spot.
Yeah.
And we'll probably do lunch,
dude,
at the next spot. So you know what they say about gravity is, what goes down must go up.
I'll tell you what, it's quite a climb.
So that first section was pretty intense.
Yeah.
But we're only about halfway up, so.
Yeah, and I feel the burn. My legs are on fire. Tell you what, this is challenging. Steep. I would highly recommend these hiking poles. What's that old saying? Feel the burn? Jeez,
feel the burn.
Feel the burn.
So an interesting fact about the 2 locations that we've been today is it's actually technically the same trail. We explored the first segment of the NCT, and then we moved over here to this
Doty Cave.
To Doty Cave.
And this full section is 3.5 miles out to Pittsford Road, roughly, and 3.5 miles back. Moderate rated, so 7 miles would be more like about 14 easy. I could do 14 easy on and be more tired out from doing this moderate trail at 7 because of all the ups and downs and elevation, and we were just scratching the surface of this here trail.
Guys, I just gave Jamie here a quick minivan camper tour, so if you're interested in seeing that, make sure you check out his channel. That'll be coming out in the next couple weeks, and I showed a few things that I've never showed on any of my tours before, so make sure you check it out if you want to see those kind of Easter eggs of my minivan camper. Do you mind just telling us where we are right now?
We're just outside of Osseo, Michigan, over here on the NCT, which actually runs all the way into Pittsford. You kind of hop around the trail a little bit, and I'm going to take you down to an area where there's some pine trees and a nice little bridge crossing with the water should be moving. It's a nice little place to have lunch today. And we're going to have some lunch down there. And actually that same spot, me and the boy came down here, and that's where he kind of went over.
So hopefully as we step off on this adventure, neither of us ends up going over or under any water features on our trip today.
And can you see how...
Oh no.
Can you see how, I mean, this was way higher. Can you see how he could walk across this right here and end up tipping over? And
I'm worried I would end up tipping over
Yeah.
on this spot.
yeah, this is a,
You gonna go? You gonna cross it?
you definitely don't want to go too fast. Perfect.
You okay?
Did you get it?
Yeah, are you okay though?
Yeah. I just stepped wrong.
I always worry about breaking an ankle or something, you know? I think we've kind of hit our turnaround point for today, and there's not really a clearing out here for us to set up our stoves and cook some lunch.
No.
So we're gonna head back to the campsite, or excuse me, back to the trailhead
Right.
and cook some lunch over there. We're gonna just set up our camp stoves and have a little lunch right here between our vehicles.
Oh, shit. Here's a magnet.
Oh, it's been a long walk today. On today's menu, I've got some mushroom risotto, and I think this is pre-cooked. Pretty soft, so it's pre-cooked. I just have to add a little bit of water and heat it up with this fire maple stove. This little stove is perfect for hiking, but this might be one of the last times that I use this with the minivan. And the reason is that I've recently got a stove that's very similar, but it's an electric kettle. With that kettle, I will essentially be able to eliminate the need for flames. And if this isn't your first time watching my channel, you know that I talk about safety all the time. And flames in a vehicle are not safe. This is perfect for cooking outside here, but I very rarely cook with this inside the van just because of how powerful these little flames can get. This is probably not enough food to really fill me up, but I normally don't eat until the afternoon. And between hiking and getting up early today, I'm actually pretty hungry right now. Did you get your camp stove?
Yeah, I got my camp stove. Sure what's on there. Okay.
Let's see the
Fire in the hole.
fire in the hole. Woo! So just about before I could turn around, my rice already started boiling. So I'm gonna shut it off because I wanted to go to the side of the van here. And one of the big benefits of having a no-build minivan camper is that I have access to cold drinks and cold food pretty much whenever I need it. That's a dehydrated meal though, right?
Right.
So you've got
a Mountain House Adventure meal, beef stew. This takes a little bit longer. You'll probably be done eating before I even get this soaked right.
Oh, I'm not in a rush.
And don't forget to take the packets out. And then that's a waiting game. You gotta seal these up, let them set. Now, unlike those that are ready to eat right now, these have to sit about 8 to 10 minutes. So we ended up getting 4.3 miles for the whole day.
Yeah, so not as many miles as I expected, but plenty for my legs. My legs
Right.
definitely got plenty of uphills and downhills.
We definitely feel it, that's for sure.
So I'm gonna go check this out and try to get some Dawn or palm olive soap. But this little spot in the middle of my forearm here might be some kind of poison ivy or poison
oak.
Yeah, so I want to make sure that I get that washed off. It has been another amazing day in the great state of Michigan. I couldn't have asked for a better tour guide today. I'm out with tour guide Jamie from Lower Michigan Adventures, the YouTube channel. And we were exchanging some items, and he gave me this rucksack right here, this hiking pack.
Yep, that is an ultralight piece of gear.
And so I look forward to filling it up and going on some legitimate hikes over the next few months, year, whatever.